Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I am going to put on here, hold on one second. I'm going to start in just a few minutes. I'm giving people enough time to get into the room. So give me just a second. Can everybody see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We'll get started in just a few minutes. We'll start in about 2 minutes. I'm just giving people the Zoom code. Okay. Okay, so first off, I want to make sure everybody can see my screen, and I got a yes, so thank you very much for that. If you have a question, you can post it in the chat room that's up. I'll be looking at that while I'm speaking, so if I say something that's not really clear, which can happen, especially in communication, I will make sure that I clarify or answer your question if I can, okay? So the first thing I want to say is that my name is Robin McGehee. You can call me Robin. I'm totally fine with first name. If you were raised in the South or have a military background or had really conservative parents and you feel more comfortable with Miss McGehee, totally fine, or Miss Robin. And how you address me is fine as long as it's respectful and non-derogatory. I want to be on a good level playing field with you guys. I don't look at it as I'm the teacher, you're the student in a power dynamic. I like to look at it as we're in this together. I know that public speaking can be very nerve-wracking and create a lot of stress. There's even studies that indicate that public speaking is feared more than death. So that means that some students would prefer to be in a coffin than be in my class right now, which is a little odd. But I'm hoping that I can kind of help you get through that anxiousness and figure out how to survive this semester and tackle the speeches that you do have to give. The benefit that you have with this pandemic is that you're going to do a lot of it online. So it is going to be in a lot of ways like you at home practicing your speech in front of your camera of your laptop or your computer or your cell phone, and then posting what you record to Canvas, either through a YouTube or other channel of video recording. Now, the couple of times that we'll do live presentations, one is the first thing that we do in here, which is the interview. That one's just going to be one-on-one. You'll be in here and I'll be in here, and it'll be like a live experience just like this. Nobody else will be in the Zoom. We'll just kind of get to know each other and communicate. No more than about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on questions and stuff, and then you'll be free to go. That happens in 3 weeks. So it's nothing to worry about, but it gives you an idea of how I try to space out the semester where the speeches get a little bit more difficult, just as the papers might get longer in an English class. In this class, I try to, teach you skill sets that are going to build on each other. And then for the last speech that you have in here, or the next to the last speech, speech 4, that happens in April. A few of those speeches you'll have to be at live, and that happens in April. So I encourage you to look at the class calendar and check out those dates, because you will have to deliver your speech in a live setting with other students present, but that's the only speech that you have to do that for. So it's just something to put on your radar. I know that a lot of people have been asking the question, is the Zoom required? Is it mandatory? Do I have to be there? I've got other things going on. I know that students have other jobs. I know that they have other classes. I know they have family, and the pandemic and all that entails. I know you're going to have other things that are on your plate. And so the Zoom is optional. You don't have to attend, but I highly recommend that you do, because I'm always going to just briefly go over really important information. I'll never keep you longer than you need to be here. Once you're done, you're free to take off. And I highly recommend that, the ones that you can Zoom into, you do, but I'm not going to hold it against you if you can't. In fact, I'll always record it and then I'll post it to the Canvas portal. I'll show you how I do that. And then you'll be able to watch it in your free time, do the assignments, and have clarity around the lectures. And then from there, you'll kind of just come to class when you have to, for example, for that speech number 4 in April. But if you want to come to every Zoom, it's listed in the calendar what weeks I have them and which weeks I don't. And it's kind of half and half. Now, the other thing I want to say is when I send out the message at the end of this week with the video link, I will also tell you the days that I have public speaking classes during the week. So let's say that you can't be at a 12:45 class because you work in the afternoon and you want to take the class earlier in the day. You don't have to drop this class. You could just show up for one of my other Zooms and get your question answered, get clarity on the lecture or something, and then not have to come to the 12:45 time. So I will offer those meetup times to you, and you'll be able to see that. And I use the same Zoom link for all of my classes. So just as long as you have this one link, you'll always be able to use it throughout the rest of the semester. Now, so let's look at a little bit about how the class works. If you haven't been very familiar with Canvas, or just kind of taking an online class, the first thing you want to do is know how to get there. So the COS website is a great start. You click on the My Giant, that orange button right there. And then that's going to take you to your campus portal, which takes you to financial aid. It'll take you to the COS website. It's going to take you to your email right here. There's all kinds of different things that you can find on here that are great resources for you. Even job search is a good place if you're looking for work. There's a job search, let me see, I think Job Seeker right here. They always are posting positions for people who are looking for jobs. So all of these are really good beneficial links, but the ones that you really want to know for the class is this is how you drop and add classes, this banner web, and this is how you would get into the class course portal. So you just click on Canvas, It's going to take you to the portal for your classes. You'll see on here, this is my class list. So these are all the classes that I'm teaching. I've got 6 public speaking, 1 group class, and 1 interpersonal class. So my list is going to look different than yours. But if we look at this class, in this class, the CRN is the 27148. So right here, this one is going to be in your portal. You click on it, and then once you click on it, I'm going to show you. This is the student view. I'm going to click that link, and this is what it should look like from your end. Now, I highly recommend that you do everything in that week's module. So what I mean by that is I try really hard to make sure that on Mondays, I always send you an update for the week. So for example, yesterday you got your first communication with me. It actually posted on Sunday night. Some of you may have seen it Sunday night. But that told you, what you had to do for the week, where to zoom in to meet up with me, welcomed you to the class and told you what you should kind of look over for the class. And every Monday I will send that out. That will let you know kind of from now until Sunday, this is what you should be working on. Now, some people are going to get that message, they're going to read it, and they'll say, I am so busy Monday through Friday, I can't focus on this until next weekend. And that is okay, as long as you're watching the deadlines that are on there. Sometimes things are due on Thursday night, which is the end of the week for my classes. So you really want to make sure that you're checking deadlines, and a great place to do that is this to-do list on your right side. So you'll see that you have to read the class calendar by Monday, read the syllabus, hopefully by Monday, and then it says that you should do your introduction by Thursday at midnight. So if you were to click on that, it's going to take you to that introduction page. And out of about 35 students, I've had 15 people do it. So those of you who've gotten it done, great. You'll notice that right before class, I even put up my introduction of my own self, and then gave you a link on how to learn a little bit more about me. And your job is to post your introduction by Thursday at midnight. Now, after you post that, you have to comment on 2 other posters. So I would suggest that you look, so Mark has been already addressed by Emanol. I hope I'm saying that right, Emanol. I'm sorry if I'm not. And Margarita. So those 2 students have already addressed Mark in his introduction. So I would suggest that if I need to go in and comment on someone, I'm looking for someone else. So for example, Leslie only has 1 comment, so maybe I would comment on hers just to make sure that she's got 2 from someone in the class. Now I need to do that by Friday at midnight. And if I'm not able to do that by Friday at midnight, I do have the weekend to get it done. But excuse me, I am hoping that you'll get it done by Friday at midnight. Your introduction has to be posted by Thursday at midnight. But I do give you the weekend to kind of comment on some of these. Now, let's say that I am in the class and I've posted, just like you guys did, my introduction. And in my introduction, I talked about that I love boating and going kayaking and being on the water. And let's say that someone commented and they said, hey, Robin, I like to be on the water as well. Which lakes do you go to? Then my expectation for the class is that if someone asks you a question, you should be responding to people that ask questions or comment to you something that you should give feedback on. It is a communication class. If someone says, hey, welcome, nice to meet you, you don't have to write back to that. But if they do ask you a question, I might say, hey, nice to meet you. I'm so glad that somebody else likes getting out on the water like me. I love to go to Cahuilla Lake or Millerton Lake. Where do you like to go? I'm really just trying to make sure that you continue that mode of communication and connection. And so it doesn't have to be that long, but you should continue the engagement to make sure that you address what comments that you get. Now, that is the only major assignment that you have this week. And so every week on Monday, I will post the assignment and the to-dos for the week on Monday, and then you'll have that week to get it done. But if you look at the module, you'll notice that there are multiple things that I would love for you to read through just so you can make sense of what this class is about. So for example, if you haven't gone over the syllabus, if you haven't read my welcome message, if you haven't looked at what course materials like the textbook material information, all that stuff is going to be very invaluable. And I promise it's going to be an easier class if you read through some of this stuff, if not all of it, to make sure you kind of know how the class works. I like to look at the class syllabus as kind of our prenup. I'm lawyering up and saying, hey, this is what's required. Let's have a good relationship and hopefully it all works out. And if you stay in the class, then you're saying, okay, you know, I agree with the prenup. I'll do all those things that you say, Robin. And now if we both abide by it, so let's say you do all the assignments, you turn everything in, then we're going to have a happy relationship and everything's going to be great at the end. But let's say that I don't meet up my end of the prenup and I take away assignments and I don't give you the chance to make those points, or I add tests when I said there was only 2, then you can complain and I can get in trouble because I'm breaking the prenup. And if you don't do what you agreed to by staying in the class and doing the syllabus assignments, then I can hold that against you. And we're gonna have a nasty divorce and tell all of our friends and family about it. And that's gonna be problematic. So what I want us to do is really abide by what this contract says, which is this is what we're gonna do in the class, if that makes sense. And I try to make it fun and easy to read. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. The book is free and online, so you do not have to purchase a book. I will give you the links and tell you where to read and all that stuff on Monday of each week if there is reading for the week ahead. So you really want to make sure if I'm posting the links, you go on there, you read, because that stuff could be used on your final exam and on your midterm. Now, if I wanted to know what to also look at to be really informed about the class, I could also go to the class calendar. Now the class calendar gives us all the due dates. So I'm going to know exactly what's happening, what the Zoom link is, where to find the Zoom link if it's not listed on there, what's due that week. All that stuff is going to be in this class calendar. So I really want to make sure that I'm focused on that, and that I know for the week ahead, hey, am I doing everything I need to do? Now, I don't have to check back and look at this if I have put some of this stuff on my phone. So if I put on my phone calendar, Zoom on Tuesday, Robin's class at this time, then I won't have to check back because all the due dates are in that to-do part of the Canvas portal over here. But I don't put Zoom in the to-do because it's not required. You can't get points for it unless there's participation points connected to it. So it's very important just to check in with the calendar, read the weekly announcement, and then make sure that you're doing the assignments as they come due. Now, for the most part, half of your grade in this class is speeches. And then the rest of the class is just minor papers, famous speech critiques where you'll watch a speech out of class and then you'll write about what you liked about it or disliked about it or what you think could have been done differently. Those papers are not research driven. They're more like a reflection or a journal entry. You just writing about what you liked and disliked. So you don't have to worry about doing a lot of research. You do have to write it in an academic format, but you don't have to cite sources and all that other good stuff. Other than that, the activities are connected to the speech writing component. So you'll turn in outlines in advance for some speeches, not for the first one. And then, or yes, for the first one, you do have an outline. But for the first one, you don't have a works cited or any cited sources. So you'll read as each week comes along and you'll find out what's due for the week ahead. And all of that stuff is connected to the speeches that are beginning to happen. And your first speech doesn't happen till like the middle of February. So you don't really need to worry about getting anxious too early because there's plenty of time to get nervous about it. Okay. So any questions about anything that I've talked about?
No.
Okay. Communication class, we're gonna have to talk at some point. You understand that, right? Okay, so here's my question. What is due by Thursday?
Responding to 2 people.
Okay, well, not responding to
Your own
Introducing yourself.
Introducing yourself, yeah. So by Thursday, you should introduce yourself to the class. So for example, like I said before, only 13 people have turned that in, and we have 35 people in the class. So less than half. So you want to make sure that that's assignment, you're getting it in by Thursday night at midnight. And then once you turn that introduction in, then yes, then your requirement is to comment on 2 other introductions, giving some kind of comment based on what you've read. And if people commented to you and you have something you need to respond or reply to, replying back to that. That's the major requirement for this week. And then the other requirement is just getting very familiar with the class, making sure that you read through everything and you understand it. Like I said before at the very beginning, this class can make people feel very nervous. I have students that will sign up a few semesters in a row, drop it, and then sign up again. Because they're so nervous about taking it. And then they'll finally finish it and they'll say, why did I wait so long? And oh my goodness, all I needed to do is just, put my head down and, understand that you were going to work with me. I will practice with you. I will, get you other people that you can practice with. I'll try to give you all the materials that you need to be able to upload and record your speeches. I'm going to try to make this as painless as possible. And mainly because I truly believe the quote that I use in the syllabus, when we speak, we shape the world. My own personal history is I've spoken at a March on Washington with over 250,000 people, not the last week's Capitol riots, but fighting for full equality for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people. But I've also spoken at City Hall in Fresno in front of 7,000 people. I do believe that speaking out can lead to positive change. And I also believe that the people that marched on Washington last Wednesday had every right to do so. It was the rioting and destruction of the Capitol that I would totally disagree with. Nonviolent civil disobedience and speaking out is really how you affect change in the world. But rioting, like during the Black Lives Matter movement, when businesses are destructed or people are violently hurt, those don't get us anywhere. We're going to get somewhere when we use our voice to convince people to believe the way that we believe. And if we can't convince them, then we speak out against the people that we disagree with. So I truly believe in that freedom of speech of saying, hey, you have every right to, believe that Donald Trump's the best president ever, and you think that, the wall should be as big as heaven. But I have every right to say that I think he's a madman, and I can't wait to watch the wall come down, because I truly believe that we should have open borders and really just be a more just and welcoming society. Both of those voices can have place. We just have to learn how to articulate and communicate those positions and run for office and change things based on what we believe in. So that's the goal. And if you're not into politics and you don't care about that, then it's about, how do I get somebody to go out on a date with me? How do I convince someone to hire me? How do I make a presentation in one of my other classes? You're going to learn how to have conversations and make presentations that'll hopefully benefit you for the rest of your life. So I really encourage you not to drop the class because you're nervous, but tell me and let me help you get through it, because I totally believe it'll be beneficial to you in the end. Okay, any questions other than the ones that have been given? It says, I think just someone said, I think giving speeches this way will be easier. I would agree with that. I think that what I did learn, because I thought exactly that when the COVID first hit last spring, we immediately went online, and I thought, oh man, everybody's going to love this. But I did find that students got anxious about the recording of the videos and posting those. They got more nervous about, oh my God, this is going to be up there and people can watch it over and over again. And, I don't like how I looked or whatever. And so I encourage you not to focus on that dynamic and just focus on giving your speech and getting it over with. If you upload it to YouTube, you can put it as unlisted. And then nobody can find it unless they have the link. So there's lots of ways. They may be able to find if they're, a crazy YouTuber, they've watched everything to the end of the internet. But in reality, they probably won't ever see it. So just let that confidence, be bold and say, I'm going to do this because I'm going to pass this class. And that way I never have to take it again. And on the day that we give speeches in a live environment, I promise I'm going to make it very easy and hopefully non-threatening. Because I do believe that learning how to speak in a live audience is important as well. Anybody else have a question or comment? Anybody in connection to anything I said?
For our personal Zooms, are we gonna have like each different time?
Yes. So, and that's a great question, Julissa. So if you go right here, hold on one second, announcements, and you click on class calendar, you can actually sign up for your time right now if you want under week 3. So you see this Google Doc right here? If you click on it, you can go in right now and put your name on the day and the time that you want. And nobody signed up yet. Well, there have been some people that have signed up, but just make sure that it's a time that you can do. And you find that in the class calendar under week 3. Okay. And so that week, what will happen is we will not have a class Zoom meetup like we're doing right now. It will be just us all, meeting one-on-one. So I'll meet with Julissa one-on-one. It'll just be me and her in our Zoom meeting. And then Madison will come and I'll meet with her at a different time. And so during the week, I will be meeting with all of my 8 classes at different times. So I won't have a lecture day. It'll just be you asking questions, getting ready for your first speech that'll be due the following week. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. You guys are brilliant. You got everything, I promise you we're going to get through this and it's going to be great. And I hope that this many people show up every Tuesday, but I know that's not going to be reality. I know you're here to say, do I have to be here every day? I was a student too. I get it. But I will tell you that it will be easier if you're coming and you're checking in. And I'll promise I'll never keep you longer than we have to. It's only been 30 minutes and I'm about to let you guys out. So.
Oh, I was wondering if you do any like extra credit probably, or I don't know if you do that or not.
Great question, Mark. So I build extra credit into the class. So there's 1,000 points total over the course of the semester, but I actually give out about 1,035 points. So if you do everything, you have the ability to make over an A or an A++. And what happens is at the very end of the semester, I kind of look at the class averages based on how people did. And I may offer one final extra credit assignment if nobody hits that 1,035, just to give people the chance to hit it if they want to, if they want that ability. So it's our extra credit is already built into it right now, but there is a possibility that I will add more depending on how the class goes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Do you offer like makeups if heaven forbid you like somehow missed an assignment or something like that?
So the way that I do it is so let's say there's a famous speech critique and it was due on Sunday night and you didn't post it by Sunday night. If you just forgot or, something, because you got a whole week to do it, you would have to have a good excuse about why, you missed it. If you had a really good excuse, like I was going to be uploading it, but my mom had to go to the hospital or whatever, and I'd say, well, you have documentation to prove that. If not, or if you just forgot, I will work with you, but you will not get full credit. So for example, I might give half credit for the famous speech critique and you'd get 15 points instead of 25 points, which is a little more than half credit.
Okay.
But so for example, speeches, I really encourage you to get the speeches in on time. And to that question, which is a really good question, Morgan, I would always record and upload early, because those people who wait until like 10 o'clock at night to upload, it usually takes a little bit longer for the upload to go through. And then it's late because the processing of the video by YouTube or by Canvas took longer, and then their video's late. So I would always tell myself, especially if I've got to upload a speech, that it's due the day before. Even though the deadline is Sunday at midnight, I would always say, hey, I need to do this by Saturday night, or I need to do it Sunday morning, because it does take some time for that processing time to go through.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think about that, the whole like uploading process.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And every semester I have students that are like, oh my God, I was uploading at 9 o'clock and it's midnight and it's still not up. But if everybody's uploading at the same time, that's going to take more time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Good questions. Anybody else questions? It's nice to e-meet everybody.
For the book, are we gonna use it while we're doing our speeches and stuff, or how are we gonna?
You'll read it. It's really just a tool to kind of understand the lectures and the PowerPoints more. You won't use it during the speech. I mean, there are some things that kind of help you come up with ideas on how to outline your speech, and even the book talks about different ideas for topics. So you could use it for that, but you won't have to reference it in the class. It's really just a tool of understanding for the class. And it's totally
Okay, so it's
free
not
to-
required to read.
Yeah, well, I would say that if you're not reading it, then you definitely need to make sure that you're watching the PowerPoints and or reading the PowerPoints and watching the lectures, because the book is going to explain more of what's going on in the PowerPoint. So for example, if you just read the PowerPoint and it says transactional model, you might be like, okay, well, I know the word, but I don't know really what that means. So that's why you would need the book to explain it to you, unless you're going to watch the video that I upload where I'm teaching about it. So if you're not there's some people that just are not readers. They don't enjoy reading. And so if that is how you feel you learn more through the delivery of it through audio and video, then that's how you would watch the lecture, and then you wouldn't have to read the textbook. But I will tell you that students who do read the textbook generally do better on the test, because there's a couple of questions that come from the text that they may not have taken in from the lecture. So it's just a good extra tool.
Okay.
It's not required, and it's free. So, I mean, it's there if you want it, there if you don't want it. Okay, perfect.
You mentioned speech ideas. I know in the past when your class was like in person,
Yep.
depending on the speech, you would kind of give out an outline of like, these are some things you could talk about. Are you going to do the same thing here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will always give you a couple of ideas, but like the speech 3, which is the you choose the speech, I'll give you a list that you can pull from and pick from. And in some of the lectures before, I'll give ideas or samples of things that you might consider, but I'll never tell you, you have to talk about this or you have to talk about this.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, well, if there's no more questions, you are free to go have a great Tuesday. And it was nice to meet all of you.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a good day.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day. Bye.
Bye-bye, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.